That's not productive. But this is a hard thing to realize because everyone talks about the optimization. Let me put it this way. The fitness space is filled with people who are obsessing over 1% crit instead of 1% mastery, and whether or not that will actually help you gold parse is irrelevant. The thing that will get you real results in gold parsing your fitness is understanding you hit B, then you hit A, then you hit up, then you hit down, then you hit left, then you hit right, and then you repeat the process. And if you do things right, you'll get the result. 1% secondary stat is not going to make or break anything. And that's often how people approach fitness, if that makes sense. They focus on these little tiny optimizations. People say you have to work out at longer muscle lengths. Why? Well, a study showed, what was the study? Study took how many people through a quad extension, a leg extension. How many people actually went through it? Okay. How many studies were there? Okay. Like people, I could just say right now, did you know that a study showed, this is the thing. A study showed this plastic water cap that I have in here. If you take 3 of these and basically I were to drink out of a water bottle with these caps, then I'm going to have a liver problem. Did you know that? Because of the plastic. Is that true? Where's the study? I knew it. Aha. How true is that, though? Some people are going to say, yes, that's absolutely true. There is this thing that proves it. And other people say, no, there's no study that proves it. Okay. The studies that don't prove it, who are they funded by? The studies that do prove it, who are they funded by? Wait a second. Coca-Cola? That's interesting. That can't be right. No, it is. There's really, really poor oversight for vested interest in companies funding studies to prove claims. Very, very often, unfortunately, there are a lot of scenarios where this is true. Where it's like, is this thing good or bad for you? Wait a second. Who's funding this? And you're like, oh, well, if I was going to make $50 million by compromising a few people's health and maybe some scientific accuracy, I'd probably do that. The same thing with orthopedic surgeons. A lot of surgeons operate like they make bank every time they do a knee replacement, but they don't make bank every time they don't do a knee replacement. So unfortunately, playing with no keybinds. Oh yeah, no, I always do. I mean, I have things bound a little bit, but I'll dispel this one, external that one right now. Perfect. I'd like to save my stasis for next pull, if at all possible. Just gonna do a tail swipe here, a little oppressive roar there. Boom, 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 boom. But yeah, like, so for example, the amount of people who get told that you need to, it's time. Like, oh, you're 65, turns out your shoulder is just done. We can see some inflammation in the bursa, and therefore your shoulder, we could recommend PT, but at this point you might as well consider a replace. It's like, wait, what? Nah, just like fix it. Like you just fix it. Like that's not a lifelong condition. You actually have osteoarthritis, or do you just have arthritis? Those are 2 very different things. And it's people literally have no concept of this. Because we unfortunately have this system where we've all learned to trust medical opinion without second thought. There's no real oversight, and I think that this is highly unfortunate because oftentimes it is simply false. There are times when a replacement surgery will absolutely add years to somebody's life and be an amazing scientific medical breakthrough. But when you realize just how much money goes into it, you start to wonder a little bit. Because if I was going to make, again, the difference between me making like tens of millions of dollars, I'd probably be willing to do some stuff, you know what I mean? Anyways, that's a random medical rant. Back to the game. I do like to click my abilities. I find that it helps me with my timing. I don't know if it's just a playstyle diff. I don't know if it's a ping diff or what. But even on tanks, I click all my defensives. I rotationally bind 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the rest I click. Not sure exactly where it comes from, to be honest. I've just kind of always done it, and because I've always done it, it's so second nature to me. It would be weird if I tried to change it. I do use modifier keys, like for my healing. Like that was Shift R, like that was Shift right click. You can't use Shift R on the Blizzard nameplate. It's not Cell, unfortunately. I find that to be very annoying, by the way. Because I used to use a lot of like Shift R type keybinds, and you can't do that anymore with base UI. Little bit annoying, to be honest. Also, what's annoying, I never noticed that when you played. Is midnight a good moment to start healing? Honestly, yes. Kamikaze, absolutely yes. 100% yes. I actually think midnight might be the best time to heal because it's the most approachable version of it I've ever had. So right now, you can pick up a healer with because every healer got simplified, same as other things. And that is significantly better. Is heal bot going to be around? We don't know exactly what the add-ons will or will not look like for healers. So we don't know is the right answer to that question. That was a big HPS there. Got him here. External this one. Echo, echo, echo. Do it up. Boom. Don't get hit by that. I wanted to check HPS for that pull. Ooh, Zephyr and defensives when this first knockback happens, because it'll be a little tough. I just have to instantly top my entire team. No problem. I got it. Yeah, and the reason is that right now, how's Holy Paladin feeling at the moment? I like Lightsmith. Herald is apparently tuned well enough. I just personally don't like it. I think Lightsmith is a lot of fun to play. It might just be a playstyle diff, but I'm not a huge fan of how Herald plays. But Holy Paladin is okay. It might technically need tuning. Like, it might just be one of those healers that a little bit of tuning to Holy Shock or Word of Glory would make it feel a lot better, because those things do, like, they hit like wet noodles right now. Yeah. You can / won't heal without it. I understand what you're saying, and I understand the concern for all healers who have learned to depend on certain add-ons or certain quality of life increases. I highly encourage you to reserve that judgment until you actually get to play the game. Because we're just so used to it that we can't play without it. But that's not necessarily going to be how it actually ends up feeling. Because right now, to me, healing is very fun on Midnight Beta. It's simpler, but also the damage profiles feel better to heal. Even this boss is actually pretty easy. The next boss would be a really tough pug boss. But in general, I'm pretty optimistic about how healing feels. Hesitating between Druid and H-Pal. Druid has a group buff, and Resto Druid, by nature of how healing is working right now, is very, very safe pick for potential meta, just because you need consistent spammable healing outside of your cooldowns. And currently Resto Druid is sort of the only healer that can maintain a significant power level for healing outside of their major cooldowns. I'm a little worried about that, Robo Banda. I think you might be right. I also think they might do the same thing for tanks, and I don't think that either of those things should happen. I think that tanking and healing, I know they do it, and I don't know why they do it. I swear it's like, I don't really understand why. Can I get mage food? Mage food, please. I'll need to micro sip throughout the dungeon. Conjure refreshment. Thank you. Perfect. I play Feral and it's Resto Druid sounds good. Resto Druid will be a lot more simple. There will be a lot less of a ramp and a lot more kind of spammable healing in Midnight, because regrowth is significantly, even though they've already nerfed it, it cleaves your team with a new talent. They do it because healers are the... Ooh, hot take. Hot take, Mr. Robo Panda. I am not sure if I think healers are by default the best players in the game. I think that the best players in the game are often found kind of almost regardless of role. There are some tanks that are absolutely amazing players. There are some tanks that are, with respect, a little bit slower than others. There are some DPS that are fantastic, and they are unbelievably high IQ gamers. And there are some DPS which are slightly less fantastic. Same thing with healers. There are many healers who default to the role because they would like to play a laid-back, chill version of the game, but still contribute meaningfully to their team. So there's a ton of healers who the way that they prefer to heal, Robo, is they just kind of want to be like, they're going to stand here and say, no damage happening, cool, just chilling, chilling, chilling. Whereas I'm the sort of gamer where I'm like, okay, look, every single global matters. I will never not be casting something. Personal preference. But I don't expect everyone to play like that because it's my preference or how I play. Make sense? Yeah. But we can't say one way or the other. And the truth is, you know what? Both people are absolutely right. And I'll die on this hill as many times as it comes up. But the truth is that if you want to play the game in a chill fashion after work, and you are, in fact, just trying to enjoy healing, that is acceptable. And if you're doing the same thing for tanking, also... Oh, holy stasis.
Your survival wasn't necessary.
Cast. And if you're doing the same thing for tanking, absolutely fair. You should be allowed to play the game casually. Maybe not at the highest level. That's fair, of course. But you should be allowed to just log in and play. I actually had stasis, and the truth is that stasis is normally bound to Shift A, and I hit Shift A, but on beta, I don't have Shift A bound, so I failed. That is what just happened there. I think I'm a high IQ gamer. You know what? It doesn't matter whether you're a high IQ gamer. Whoever, you know who wins in World of Warcraft? Whoever has the most fun. That's just the truth of it. Whoever wins is just whoever has the most fun. It is, in fact, that simple. People like to pretend it's not, but it is. Your IO score does not determine your happiness level. Because there are plenty of people who have very high IO and are fucking miserable. Like, there really are a lot of people who grab title, and it's like they hate the game. It's really, really weird to me. But I don't know if you've ever played at that level. But do you know what I mean? Have you met people like this who are just like... For some reason, it's like, why are you playing every day? They're like, well, I have to get title. But they don't... They're clearly not having fun. Like, every time you go over to their stream or something, you just watch them play, they're just like... They're just kind of raging the whole time. I personally don't think it's worth the time at all. Unless... It would have to be an Omega season for me to consider it. I'm trying to save a little bit of healing here. Perfect. So drink inside the boss room, and I'm good to go. I'm ready. I'm fine. The reason I start drinking here is because you can pull the boss. Here, inside. Inside, inside. Come, come, come. Because there's no ramp immediately. I have time. Inside, inside. Oh! Reset. Quick reset. Watch that happen. Oh wait, did he make it in? Is he coming around? No, quick reset. Mission chance would be class spec based. That would be problematic if they did that, Mr. Irish. And the reason that it would be problematic is because you would just have people re-roll into other stuff. You would just have people kind of re-roll into the thing to get the title, and I think that would actually take away from the off-meta specs, not the opposite. Hi there, Prez Evoker, still a harder healer. What's up, Rasmus? I would say that Prez is considered... I would say Prez is a little harder in Midnight because everything else got a little simpler, but Prez still fundamentally plays exactly the same, even though it got things taken away, you know? Holy Paladin's in your secondary? Sorry, my bad. Twitch dead, kick still going. What? Did my Twitch stream end? Did it? My YouTube stream died earlier. I'm not sure why. Twitch is good. Okay, thank you. Oh, TH was just trolling you. Hello, evening. But like healing as a role is variable. So this boss is an example. How much will I need to heal? That depends on whether or not the mechanics go to the tank, the DPS, or whether we can even immune them with Invis, etc. or AMS. It would make meta less stacked. People would play their mains. Who cares? Because I think that fundamentally, if you think that the people who get title because title is a, how do I put this? First of all, let me stasis this real quick because I need a big heal. How do I say this the right way? The allure of title is not your spec or even fun gameplay. The allure of title is prestige. The reason that people need prestige is because World of Warcraft becomes a pseudo proxy for in real life success. So for example, you didn't get that promotion at work, but at least you have high IO. Like, people use World of Warcraft to feel good about themselves because it's a ranked competitive game mode and it's something that they care about. There would just be people, there are already people who get 4 times title on several characters. Not that it matters, but they do it anyways for fun. One of the problems with title, that's actually one of the most unfair parts of it, is that the easiest, most effective, fastest way to obtain title is by having a group. Imagine this. What is the hardest part of doing a plus 21? Which is, let's say, a plus 20 even. What's the hardest part of it right now? Finding it. But if you have a group, you log in and you open your B tag, you say, no, it's not comms, it's literally finding the group. If I give you 20 shots at a 20 gambit, what's the likelihood you think you can get it? There are some people who are really, really good, and they'll probably get it in the first few attempts. Hold up. I thought you were going to go stasis. Got it. Easy. Get a healing here. So, prestige is why people go for title. If you make it spec dependent, there are people who are going to say, I'm going to get title on every single spec. And I think it will actually take away from the specs. Like, the MDI variety rule is good, but you still have a meta. People will end up playing what's meta anyways, because their whole thing is not prestige on a spec. That's old school. Old school is to say I'm the #1 rep paladin on my realm. New school version of WoW prestige is I'm better than you. Straight up. And they use score to assume and use that as a metric. Does that make sense? In my opinion, I think that a lot more people play to title just to prove skill to others and themselves. Otherwise, they wouldn't play degenerately for 6 months straight. Most people reroll and get... Exactly. They just keep going anyways. They already do that, but they do it on the meta spec first, and there would still be almost as much of a meta if they did a separate title-based thing. I swear, the meta wouldn't even change that much. I don't even think you would see that much of a difference. I think that people would still do exactly what they're doing right now. In my opinion. This is an opinion. But I really wonder, like, what would drive people to play WoW in that way? Break the meta is a thing, yes. It is a thing, but nobody really cares about it. I mean, I care about it. I like break the meta, actually. But I play off meta stuff. I don't think break the meta all of a sudden makes it so that people are super interested in playing it. A lot of people will still play their meta specs on break the meta week. You know? I'm not sure if this is a full cook for sure. There's definitely points and holes missing in my argument. 100%. But there's something to be said about the fact that WoW is like a pseudo proxy for therapy. Like, you're using it as a way to feel good about your life. I'm very curious to know what overall damage looks like in this game. I haven't played with a Boomy much at all. I mean, I'm as altaholic as it gets. I want to play literally everything. It's hard for me. Fear. Up we go. Nice. Good sigil. Sigil beam. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I just want to play everything. That's what's fun for me, and it's also why I like beta so much. I don't just beta test because I'm actually beta testing. Because it's like content. I beta test because it's the only time I get to actually play all the specs without worrying about my item level or my gear. Like, I don't have to farm the raid or farm keys and crests just to play the spec. Ouch. Okay, I got it. Save the tank first. What's up, lowlife? Bro, when I was younger, that's what everybody called me. It's crazy. We have the same nickname. Wait a second. That's wild. What are the chances that you and I had the same nickname? Amazing. Small world we live. Oh, it happens. It's okay. Happens, scraps. Beta IO, no problem. I'm just chilling. Thought they called you white chocolate? Oh. Yeah, I don't talk about the white chocolate days. It's sort of like Will Ferrell and Gator. He's trying to put that behind him. It hates me. We're refreshing. No problem. All the jokes I just thought of, I had to filter. If you saw my brain lag for a second, it's because I didn't want to get banned on every streaming platform ever. Oh, man. This is what it is. Okay, watch my tank first for these heal absorbs. I'll be fine here. I was behind on healing this. Launch the bolts if you can. Go through the tank, etc. though. Glutton for punishment. Do I just do every healer again? I mean, that's what I'm doing on beta right now, Ash. I would say you play the game however you want. The thing is, if you play on one character, I get bored, personally speaking. Like, if I have to play on only one character, I'm going to get bored throughout the season, and I'm going to have to push for IO. But right now, where I was with IO before I stopped playing retail, I was behind title for sure. But if I wanted to keep going, in 2 months of gameplay, I would get 1 or 2 more key levels. That's weird, isn't it? That doesn't feel like a lot of progression to me. Imagine I played retail every day of my life for the last 2 months. I would have 1 to 2 key levels higher. That's not like a lot of progression, you know. So I'm much happier just calling it and getting low score this season. Easy key. Obviously, we had the wipe on second boss, so our timer might look a little bit suspicious because we missed somebody getting into the room. But overall, Evoker is, I would say, decent right now. Maybe could use a little bit of tuning to be like competitive. The harder question is, if I want to make a quick guide on this, like I did for Holy Priest, how would I explain Prez in a simple format? Because so much of Prez is kind of like tanking, where the answer is actually, it depends. Is it rot damage or burst damage? Is it sun this or whatever? How do I interpret into a digestible format, you know? Kind of uptime, 100%. You basically keep 100% on reversion. So I'm a bear without Apex and Maul. I think it would be possible for me to do it licked. Like, I think I could manage it. But it might be... It'll have to be slightly incomplete. But effectively, if all you did was basically TA reversion, yeah? Like, let's say you just TA reversion and then Dream Breath. And then I think if you just do that on a baseline, and then you go right-click, right-click, right-click. Wait, did the YouTube stream come back? It crashed earlier. Is it back? Wait a second. That's a YouTube comment. Did it come back? Prez struggles with... I run Chrono. A lot of people on beta have been... They originally were saying Flame Shaper was going to be Omega with the rework, but I just kind of agree with that. Oh, YouTube's running. Fantastic. It's back. Nice. I don't know why it keeps crashing. If it crashes again, just come to find me elsewhere. Holy Priest is what I was playing much earlier today. Arguably, Holy Priest is worse than Prez, but... you don't? Nah, that's like Holy... I think Holy Paladin is like that. To be honest, if you're like, oh man, how do I play Holy Paladin? The answer is kind of you don't. A little bit. There are some things that Windwalker Monk, you don't play. You let Blizzard... Well, it depends. What if you're the type of person who, at one point in your life, you were caught and tortured, and they basically permanently fucked up your tear ducts, so you are no longer capable of crying, yeah? And it just feels like you're missing the catharsis of being able to just let it all out. You know what I'm talking about? So let's say that that's your life, because this is a very relatable thing. Like, this happened to a lot of people. Then, one thing you could do to kind of help yourself with this is you could decide to play Monk in World of Warcraft. It would basically solve this problem almost immediately. You would find yourself basically within one season, the tears would be flowing. So when they say that World of Warcraft and gaming in general is bad for you, I feel like they don't really think about this, you know? I think that this is an underrated part of what gaming can provide. I'm being facetious, obviously, but Monk is sort of, I don't know. It does feel like I've forgotten. It feels like very Harry Potter-ish sometimes. What does Prez struggle with right now? It has good burst healing at the moment. It can struggle because your healing is timed on a cooldown, effectively. So you don't have spammable healing. It can struggle with very consistent HPS checks. If you don't have a plan for how to game Prez, it will struggle with very consistent HPS checks, where you have to be healing the whole time because you need a way to understand the healer in order to do that effectively. That's kind of Prez's only real quote-unquote issue. So consistent HPS, you just have to understand the healer really well in order to do it. Because, for example, this healer, I don't have this Apex proc all the time, so I have to game around it. And then when I hit my big, powerful healer, when I put my big, powerful button right now, Verdant Embrace, if I hit this button, everybody's going to go full health immediately. However, I can't hit it again. So let's see, that fear goes off. I have a way to top the group. But the 5 seconds later, I need a different plan. So you need to be constantly cycling through cooldowns. It actually plays, Evoker plays almost identical to how tanks play. And that's probably why I like it so much. Out of curiosity, I think that's one of the reasons I like Evoker very potentially is because it plays like a tank, but in a healer form. Where you're basically pre-planning cooldowns and gaming in that way. That's how tanks play. Forcing current forces perspective be considered to play high level. True. Everyone is trying to take the path of least resistance. Very fair, Justvec. Analytically, it makes no sense to play anything outside of the meta, except for fun, yep. Who got title on 5 HP on 3 Prez, correct. Yeah. Basically, those who multi-class are always going to, but there are just dead specs in the game. How do you think they solve dead specs in the game? One of my arguments for balance is this. One of my problems with balance is the fact that... Let me think about this a little. I'm trying to heal this for a second. Make sure I have healing. Hopefully I make this look easy. I wouldn't say it's easy to heal on Prez. I just have to focus a little bit. Sounds like a woo. The last season on retail right now is incredibly well balanced. It's actually one of the best retail seasons that has ever existed. People are still very unhappy. And the meta perception has never been stronger. Like, the meta perception has never been worse than it is right now. I would argue that how strict it is and how hard it is to get into keys at this moment on retail is the hardest it's ever been. It feels really, really bad, even though the game is actually balanced for once. So then it makes me wonder, what could they do to fix that? Also, this is an exact example of the type of boss that is the literal hardest for Prez to heal, because everybody's split into 4 quadrants, right? So this boss does have HPS, and I will still be able to heal this, no problem. But you see this Boomy, he's all the way in the back. I just Echo him. Echo has infinite range. So when people talk about the range problem for Prez, it is not non-existent, but yeah, it's the end of an expansion, which is important to remember, because end of expansions are always like this, and people always forget that. They're like, WoW is dead. It's like, everybody's waiting for Midnight now. But there is a real argument, I think, to be made. Does Midnight really bring life back into the game? I'm curious. I'm not sure. Maybe, maybe not. I hope it does. I think that they're making fundamentally good changes, but I'd be curious to know what the numbers actually look like when Midnight comes around. Okay, so I need to dispel this Boomy, who is literally... Can you see how far he's playing from me right now? It's a little annoying, but it's not the end of the world. I don't know if you can tell. The Boomy is playing in that back corner. Do you have a guide for Protection Paladin in beta? No, I haven't made a ton of quick guides just yet. I'm working on them over time. The house stuff, the move, all of the in real life things I've had to do recently have kind of taken away from my ability to make content. Unfortunately, I have a job and a life. Royalty-free Weezer? What? I used to wheeze as a kid. I had terrible asthma. Okay, hold up. There, and then the E. I'm literally playing a talent to help with this boss, because I know that the range can be an issue, but I'm still able to do it pretty well right now, no problem. Okay, keep pots up. 1, 2, 3, almost there. And then here, though. It's okay now? Gotcha, gotcha. What fixes that? Dungeon queue finder? That's a good question. I actually don't know what would make WoW players truly significantly happy at this point. All I know is that if the game is as good as it is right now, how are we not happy already? That's what confuses me. I don't understand how we could be unhappy. WoW 2. 5 version of the game. Lee makes no season 4. Right. So I would say, yeah, exactly. When you say, oh, but there's like 10 million WoW players, like, most of them are not playing retail. That's a weird number, actually. Like, that's not true. Most of them are not playing retail. Bifurcation band. Interesting. WoW 2 would be kind of hype. I think Midnight could be good. Just fact. I will eventually get to make quick guides on everything. Tried Prop Pally on beta and it's high key so fun right now. I agree with you, Kawasaki. My big hope for healers and tanks, by the way, is that they bring things up to match the things that are the best. That would be so helpful. It would be unbelievably helpful, and it's definitely the right plan. It is the play. You know, they have to do it that way. If they do it the other way, we're cooked and we're in trouble. I genuinely think that it's potentially a very negative thing if that happens. So, in other words, if they nerf Prot Pally to how other tanks feel, I don't think that'd be good. Alright, what time is it? Short stream today. I gotta go. We have to do house stuff. I just wanted to pop on, basically say hi to people. By Flameshaper, what is the strength of Chrono? What is the way to push health bars? VE. The reason Chrono is so good is because of VE. VE is very powerful in Chrono right now. You just VE damage. Like, you don't Spirit Bloom anymore, and you don't like Echo, Life Bind. So what you used to do is Echo, Verdant Embrace, Spirit Bloom. At the moment, though, it kind of more works like your VE is your heal. So you set up HOTS, TA, Reversion. You could manual Dream Breath if you want to, it's a little stronger. So you could do that if you have the Echoes and time to ramp. That's a full ramp right there. You see both Dream Breaths, full strength, and then a TA Echo, so we have the benefits of Grace Period and Life Spark ticking now. And then that's going to expire now, so I just repeat the process. TA, Echo, right-click, Echo, Echo the squishy targets, keep Dream Breath ticking at full strength. Now when the damage actually happens, we just Echo again, and the VE is the nuke. So I don't VE into a Life Bind ramp, I simply VE to heal. And I think that Chrono just feels smoother in that because all Empowers still have After Image. If you take a look at my healing breakdown, for example, in this key, it feels smoother to me because most of that is from the Apex Capstone. Flame Shaper works, but weirdly has, I feel like it's like burstier potentially. So if you absolutely need it though. Yeah, so, well, because the two biggest ramp healers, alternatively to Voidweaver Disc, which used to be a lot more ramped than it is right now, are Resto Druid and Evoker. Those are the two healers which have the most similar playstyle, which is basically you prep for the damage. You have to know when the damage is happening and how much is going to happen. And then what you do is you go boom, 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 done, right? But the thing about Prez, when people say that Prez is super hard, I compare it to how retail Resto Druid plays. This is different going into Midnight, because Resto Druid in Midnight is less HOTS, less worry, less ramp, kind of a little bit more regrowth. So it's much simpler. So Evoker will get technically even harder, arguably. The pruning to Prez weirdly makes it harder, not easier, I swear. Like them taking Spirit Bloom out. Spirit Bloom used to be a button that you could press outside of ramp. You just press it. You could just be like, I'm going to pre-empower this. It goes off. Extra healing. No problem. Ramp healers are much less friendly and accessible to the average person trying to heal, because that means you have to do homework to learn the damage. Yeah, I'll stretch. Fair enough. I'll stretch. All right. Here, right over here. Perfect. Ugh. And then left. Thank you. Definitely go gym today. The healers that are more friendly for new players are Resto Shaman and Holy Priest, because you don't ramp, you actually just heal. Like damage happens, health bar moves, badoop badoop. You go badoop badoop, you splash people with some water, haha, blast, and you just heal, right? Whereas other things you have to ramp. That's the difference. Thank you. Yeah. Let me see if anything else happened here. There's a lot going on, but life passes, and WoW was fun, which is good. Thank you, JustVec, by the way, for the compliment. I like looking at numbers and stats. My only issue with number and stats is that I swear sometimes the WoW stats don't take in the larger player base. The example being, if you assume everyone does Mythic Plus, then you can make a stat that says how many people are completing a +10 versus a +2 versus a +20. Like, that's a stat you can look at. Those are numbers. But there are a ton of people who don't even know what Mythic Plus is and love World of Warcraft, which is a wild thought for you and me, but does exist. There are a lot of people who I have personally met who are like, oh yeah, I love watching your streams and WoW, and by the way, what is going to be the best healer? And I'm like, well, what type of content do you want to do? And they're like, for delves. And I go, what? And they're like, yeah, like I just want to know, like, what's the best tank? Like, I'm just trying to figure out like Pally or Druid for delves. And I'm like, do you want to go really fast? Do you want to be able to shapeshift, or do you want to have big shields? And they say, oh, the big shield sounds super fun. Prop Pally it is. There it is. Fair enough. Prop Pally. So you don't judge based on what content people do. You can judge based on passion levels, but there are people who really, really love World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft's been around for 21 years, and there are people who play retail kind of like they play classic. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, yeah, you can only judge if you're a paladin. Correct. Very well. And it changed to 2 targets. Hey, buddy, sorry, I saw your thing there. Let me just make sure in case YouTube stream's been crashing, so I don't even have it up right now. My apologies. Yes, it seems like it. I don't know if it's a bug on my Evoker, but all 3 Evoker specs are, in fact, able to cast in Visage form right now. I think that I might have just missed it in the patch notes, but it does seem like, yes, I am full casting everything in Visage, which means that now I need a Transmog, because your Evoker always looks like a wild, random mishmash of things, because you don't think about it. You never think about your Transmog on Evoker, because you don't have to. You don't have the Transmog mount here. You have to go buy it on beta. I don't have it. So, yeah, it's really weird, actually, because I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait, I am actually not a dragon. Yeah, I think that's a great move. Once again, one thing that unites WoW players, arguably, is Transmog. People who really like Mythic Plus and people who really like Delves, guess what both of them like? Transmog. That's very interesting to me. I'm not a huge Transmogger personally, but every character will just have the PvP set plus the set. I'll show you this. The one thing I don't like is, why is the staff that a lot of my characters are using a Dalek Plunger? This set, not bad for Mage. This is the Mage set. Let's take a look at it. Not bad, not bad, not bad. But what the f is this? This is a plunger. That's not a staff. That is definitely a big-ass bell. So I'm not a huge fan of this. The actual Mage set looks pretty cool, I think. Like, the orbs here are pretty solid. Triggers with combat. Let me check. But I swear, in keys, I haven't been triggering it wild. I can check real fast. I don't know, because I don't remember seeing that. I feel like that would have been bigger news, to be honest. Probably make a cool hat. It just, whenever I see this staff, I just think, exterminate, exterminate. Here, let me see. No, I was playing the whole time. Probably get fat. I don't think it'll be tomorrow. I think it's, wait, what's it? Oh, it will be Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, tomorrow. Look. Wild. I'm in combat right now. I'm still just casting here. I don't know what it is, you know? Oh, purple, sorry. Yeah. Damn, I gotta do some errands. I'm a little tired today. My thoughts on WoW, it's hard to have a conversation about WoW, like just Vec and people who really care about the game. If you care about the game anywhere near as much as I care about the game, which I know you do because you're watching a stream for World of Warcraft, the fact is, I don't envy Blizzard whatsoever. It must be so hard to make changes to the game that somehow appease everyone. Like, you can't really cover the whole spectrum of WoW. There's so many different types of people who play WoW. That being said, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm not the one to find a solution because I'm a random dude in Thailand. I'm sitting on my computer is mounted on 5 textbooks because it's the perfect height for my neck. Because I don't have a monitor arm, I just have a stand. It's on a textbook. It's literally their job. So for what it's worth, they probably could figure it out. Right? Like, that's not my job, but it is their job. And it would be great if they were able to find a solution that I personally cannot think of. The Druid. The EC build doesn't use... Like, the Star Surge talent is very, 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 very low value. The only thing that procs it is the extra hero talent that was baked in. Very low value. You can play it, but it's pretty low value. This one here, 2 points. 5% Star Surge damage, and the only thing you get is from this. It's kind of lame. It's not technically... I mean, it's just pretty lame to grab it. You can if you want to, but I think that I was experimenting. You want this here, though. Yeah, no, here, I'll show you a log. I played AUG in a single dungeon. My first dungeon is AUG. And again, we can use data to back this up instead of just a conversation, because I do log. I try to remember to log all my keys. I often forget when I swap over to each character, because you have to restart the log every time, and I do often just straight up forget. Well, Well, here, there you go. This is one of the first keys ever, actually. This was first. Well, this was before it was nerfed. So here's one log. Let's take a look at another one. Mythic Plus Beta a few days ago. I played Og in a Mysara Cavern. They are extremely good. I don't think that's good for the game, by the way. I don't like that. Here. Yeah, here. This is my Og post-nerf. And this is Soza's Og first week. Damage done, Mysara Cavern. Here. There you go. It is actually topping meters. I don't think Og is good for the game. I don't want it to be meta, but that was the third boss. And then this was like first week, looking at any of the original logs when I was playing this. Og was blasting. Og was doing like way more damage, by the way. But then they nerfed it by 22% after this. So this is not accurate because this is the first week of beta. So a lot has changed since this week, where Og is no longer doing this good. But yeah, Og is still pretty good right now. It's decent. But the problem is that Og, it's factored in the fact that it doesn't buff tanks and healers. It is, in fact, just a DPS. It has to do big damage in order to be played. Moonless Knight works with Raze. It does, but Moonless Knight... God, sometimes I really wonder if I should just get a real life. I have a real life. How am I able to just go... Sometimes I catch myself about the fact that you're talking to me about Guardian Druid talents while I'm talking about Og talents while I'm thinking about this other spec entirely, and somehow I know all of them by name. It bothers me that I can't remember what you told me yesterday in my own stream because my short-term memory is so fucking chronically bad that I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. But I can remember the route for Plaguefall. Why can I remember the route for Plaguefall, but I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning? How come I remember specifically the tech for Spires of Ascension, but I can't remember your name? Motherfucker, why does my brain work like this? Alright, listen. Moonless Knight is a few % of a DPS gain, but it has 0 defensive benefit. The argument for Moonless Knight is that you can take 1 point out of Flashing Claws and put it into Moonless Knight. If you play Druid of the Claw, it also procs off of Ravage. As a rune's chosen, even though you have extra arcane damage, it is in general not worth playing Moonless Knight from my testing. If you play Druid of the Claw, it is potentially 0.5% more damage. The problem with it being 0.5% more damage is that the choice you are using is Flashing Claws, which is by itself already the same amount of damage, plus it gives you 2% DR and an extra chance to generate more rage. So, ultimately, Moonless Knight will probably not be played unless you are doing a single target raid build, in which case it will be played most likely. Fair? Okay, that's the argument for Moonless Knight. There's a few different bear builds you can play. Like, I think Double Mangle still has very strong potential for Loons. But ultimately, there's an EC build, and there's a DOTC build, and there's a no Apex talent build, and all of them are a little different. It doesn't proc off Thrash. I think Moonless Knight is a little bait. Also, do you know how many bugs there still are for Guardian? So, for example, this talent reads 30% arcane damage, but it's actually not 30% arcane damage. It's 15% arcane damage for one rank, but one rank might be 20% instead of 15%. Instead of it, and then 2 ranks doesn't actually give you 30% only on Moonfire. Thrash is technically an arcane ability through this thing called Lunar Calling, but doesn't actually function. Motherfucker, this game is built on spaghetti code. Listen, man. This game, sometimes, this is why when people are min-maxing to the nth degree, I'm like, we don't even know how things are going to be. Like, just give it a little bit. There are a lot of bugs. Everyone who's passionate about their spec, like, I know in-depth the Guardian Druid bugs because I'm a Guardian Druid player. Like, I like Bear. So, that being said, you know, like, we don't know what they're going to fix or not fix by the time the season goes live. It's a very good question. Even the Holy Priest build I was playing earlier is significantly affected by the fact that Benediction is doing 30% less instead of 30% more. Oracle would feel significantly better otherwise. Okay, I am ending early enough to actually catch people. What's up, Ajax? I don't even know the bugs with Assassination Rogue. Rogue is one of the only specs I haven't played thus far. I can't even keep track. There's so many bugs on beta, it's tough. All right, I finally get to return the favor. Easy. It is difficult, though. There's so much all the time. All right, guys, I got to go do errands today, so I'm going to send you over to, but with respect, this is a little weird. His name is Troll Mommy, but it's a guy. So don't get too excited. It's unfortunate, but it is a guy. His name is Troll Mommy, but the first time I found this out, I was like, he came in and I was like, oh, you know, I like did my hair back a little bit. I was like, why, hello there. Because I do have a thing for a 7 feet tall, blue, muscular woman, but unfortunately, it ain't going to be that. That being said, you guys have a great day and / short night wherever you are. I'll see you tomorrow. Jeez. Oh. Played the worst beta healers. Nah, no. For keys. Nah, it's... That was good. Okay. YouTube stream. I don't know why it keeps crashing. If it crashes ever again, just find me on the other platform. I don't know why. But I'm out for tonight. I gotta go do stuff. I told Kitty I would end in the afternoon. Worship. I know what I'm making from. My update tonight is a spicy one. If you watch my beta updates, I think the one I'm gonna make tonight, spicy. Excited. Okay, bye.